Society. I'm wondering if your lab has worked on how to incorporate these new renewable energies into our current infrastructure, or if you foresee transitioning to a new kind of infrastructure.
Another great question. I think these all have to do with how do we move more aggressively, more quickly into a new energy economy, if you will, that has a different set of attributes to it. We think about infrastructure a lot. Well, here's a couple of points on infrastructure. Our infrastructure today is a huge investment, so nobody wants to make the wholesale change very quickly because it's going to cost a lot of money. And we're going to spend literally $20 trillion globally on new infrastructure just because we've got to replace the existing infrastructure. The question is, what will we do? What will the new infrastructure look like? And the transition is really the issue here. And how quickly can you make that transition? Is there a new approach that might be more favorable than the approach that, again, was developed and designed more than 100 years ago? And my argument would be certainly in the electricity sector, and you have to look at electricity and transport perhaps separately. But in the electricity infrastructure, I believe there is a new model. The model that we've grown up with in the U.S. is big power plants and big wires that connect these power plants, and then you get electricity that way. I think the new model is one that's got a distributed sort of characteristic to it, and so that you have local generation, much as I mentioned about the building that we have here. We're a generator of electricity on our campus, so we're a distributed resource. I think over time that will be a model that looks a lot more like the internet than central computing. And I think the energy system should look the same way going forward in the future. It is a matter of transition. It is a matter of how do you make this, the old system begin to evolve into a new system. And that's going to be more incremental. There, I think, is an important on how you shape a new system with a new vision. One of the new facilities that we have in our laboratory is called the Energy Systems Integration Facility. And it contemplates this new business model of a much more distributed resources, where you not only have variable load, which the industry is very good at accommodating the variable demand of the consumer on electricity, but also one that has variable generation, so that when you have renewable resources that in fact are variable in their generation, that these two can be compatible with one another, and now you have a system that's got intelligence to it, and you match the load with the generation in very unique ways, and it begins to look a lot like an IT infrastructure as opposed to an electricity infrastructure of the past century. So I think there is a huge opportunity here to move toward a whole new way of thinking about energy. And that goes also true for transport, where we have a whole new different set of options, vehicles to grid that allows you to do electrification of your fuel source in a way that now you're using electricity rather than liquid transportation fuels, gives you more options, gives you more flexibility. It's all now part of integration of this overall energy infrastructure into the ways in which we approach mobility, comfort, heat, and those things that really we rely on to create businesses and improve our economy. So it's a great question. It's one that we think a lot about, and we're very much in the middle of that, and encourage all of the young professionals who are thinking about careers to move into these areas, because I think it is the way of the future. Thank you very much for the question.
All right. Thank you again, Jack.